It's Friday. If you stand on your tiptoes, you can see the weekend from here. Yes, it's Friday. It is Valentine's Day, the 14th day of February, 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we're back for another exciting day of local television, entertainment, television information, and just plain local TV. How are you? Hope you have a good Valentine's Day. Hope you. My guess is most of the restaurants in and around the North Central Washington area will be quite busy. Tonight is one of the great traditions of Valentine's Day, of course. You take your Valentine out for a nice dinner. I read this morning that the average Valentine's Day date will run you about $168 between dinner and entertainment and, of course, the chocolates and the flowers. $168. Well, it's payday. I suppose I have $168. Good stuff for you today. Back half of the hour of my conversation that we taped a couple of days ago at the Town Toyota Center. Arch Ecker. We love Arch. The broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild and one of the best Wenatchee Wild players on the roster, Lucas Ormsby, will be joining us. We talked to them in the back half. We talked to them a couple of days ago, and we'll have that in the back half of the program because this is it, the last two regular season home games. Of course, they'll have playoff home games as well, but they have Vernon tonight, Chilliwack on Saturday, and yeah, my last group of tickets. I'll be giving away 4 tickets, and you can use them for tonight or tomorrow night. And we'll be doing that a little bit later on today. So get ready to email me. You know what it is. winner@ncwlife.com. winner@ncwlife.com. Don't forget, because these tickets are either for tonight or tomorrow, you have to be able to pick these tickets up by close of business today, or don't even bother trying. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Good looking day today. Weather-wise, a little bit different coming up over the weekend. Mountain passes are getting hit with snow right now. We'll talk about that. We got news. We got a lot of celebrity birthdays to get to today in history. A Mike Magnotti opinion that is so short, if you blink, you'll miss it. Don't forget about that, plus the obscure holiday on this Valentine's Day, about 3 minutes after the hour. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Sun's just starting to happen now, just a few high clouds. It's 34 degrees with mostly clear skies in the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise this morning, just a couple more minutes away, 7:08. Sunset 5:22. That's 10 hours and 14 minutes of daylight. As you can see, the snow has receded from the upper elevations around Birch and Badger Mountain as we look over the Wenatchee Valley proper, and a good-looking sunshine. This is going to be a sunny day. We kind of had an anomaly yesterday. We only hit 40. We'll be back up considerably warmer than that. So yesterday was a very typical February day. It was our high was 40. Our normal would be 41. Our low was 27. Our normal would be 28. So it was pretty normal February 13th. Lots of sunshine today, though. Details coming up. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? I don't know. She decides. She says, let's go visit, I want to say, is that the Waterville camera? That's the Rood Canyon camera, which is essentially up in the Waterville area anyway. And, of course, with the Waterville being considerably higher in elevation, there's quite a bit of snow still hanging around in that area. So, that reminds me, speaking of snow, this is traditionally the biggest weekend of the year for Mission Ridge because Monday is President's Day, and a lot of people have Monday off. There's no school, there's no governmental offices will be closed, there's no mail delivery, that kind of stuff. And I think, if I remember correctly, the single busiest day Mission Ridge has ever had, I think in the top 10, I think almost all of them were Monday, President's Day skiing, and that'll be coming up on Monday. Camera number 3. Hello, Kashmir. How you doing today? That's our Apple Annie's camera. We call that the Apple Annie's camera because it's on that bluff high above the Apple Annie's Mall as you head on into Kashmir. Beautiful view. Good morning, Kashmir. We will be televising both the Kashmir girls and boys playoff basketball games. The District 6 1A championships will be tomorrow at Eastmont High School. We will be televising both of those games live right here on the NCW Life channel if you can make it out to the gym. And camera number 4. Hello, Billy Goat. Yeah, that's just an incredible view, Billy Goat. How you doing up there? Way up there above Pateros, pointing almost directly to the east. That's where we can see the sun coming up. That is still my favorite camera. I can never get tired of that view. Of course, if we moved it a little bit more to the north, you'd be able to see Brewster and Pateros and a little bit of the Methow Valley. By the way, you folks in the Methow Valley are going to get some snow this weekend. Again, we're almost ready to give you those details. All of these cameras, of course, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup, which means you can get screaming fast internet to your house, and you don't need fiber. Give Localtel a call. All right. 5 minutes after the hour, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They give your home a hug. There's the van. What are we looking at for the National Weather Service? Not a lot today. We had that weak system kind of came in, came out, kept us cool That's gone now. Now we have a little bit of a break. Quite a bit of sunshine is what we're expecting today. High of about 51 degrees. It is going to be a little breezy. If you haven't been outside yet, you'll notice the wind has kicked up just a little bit. But a beautiful day. No complaints at all. Then the next system comes in later on tonight. We'll dip down to 31 for the overnight low. Saturday, going to be cloudy. Little bit of light rain for the Wenatchee Valley. Again, the upper elevations, especially the Cascades and up in the Methow Valley, you're going to get some snow on Saturday. Nothing really down here. A high of about 44 degrees. Slight chance of a rain-snow mix. I wouldn't bet on it. Very little accumulation of anything at all on Saturday night, 32 for the overnight low. Sunday, lots of sunshine, but a little bit of wind. Wind will be out of the west on Sunday, 11 to 17 miles an hour, but lots of sunshine at a high of 45. And then look at all next week for the holiday Monday, sunshine 45, sunshine 45, sunshine 45. A couple of clouds, 46. No complaints at all as we start getting deeper and deeper into February, and March is starting to creep up on us, which I'm all for. So looks pretty good. Again, Saturday is going to be the one blip, as you will, on the radar screen. Outside of that, we're in for gobs of good sunshine. It's something we've been used to for quite some time. It's been a nice stretch of weather. 6.5 minutes after the hour. Let's take you up to the major mountain passes from the Washington State DOT, and boy, they are getting some snow there. Right now, there's a winter weather advisory going on. Live shot of I-90 you're looking at. Winter weather advisory goes on. That goes away later on this morning, and that will be replaced by a winter storm watch, which, of course, is considerably more serious. I-90 right now, it is a chain requirement, both directions on all vehicles, unless you have all-wheel drive. It is snowing, it is slushy, it is glushy, it is cloppy. I don't know, whatever you want to do. So, and by the way, they are doing chain enforcement. So they are doing chain enforcement checks. The Washington State Patrol is, so they are having delays up there. If you plan on driving on I-90, delays of up to 30 minutes possible because they are basically taking everybody off the highway, making sure you have chains before you go any further. It is a chain requirement on I-90, and yeah, it's snowing. Stevens Pass, yeah, it's snowing. Traction tires are required right now. That's a somebody clean the lens. That's a live shot of US 2 Stevens Pass at the summit. Again, traction tires are required. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is snowing. It's going to snow most of the day on Stevens Pass. Blewett Pass, not too bad. You'll see some asphalt there on Blewett. It's a traction tire advisory at the summit of US 97. It's still snowing, but it doesn't look to be sticking too much to the roadway. You'll find snow and slush on the roadway. And again, there's a winter weather advisory on right now. That expires. It'll be replaced by a winter storm watch, and that's in effect for most of the weekend. Snow today for the major mountain passes, 2 to 4 inches. Today, tonight, an additional 3 to 5 inches. Saturday, an additional 5 to 9 inches. The big snow coming tonight and tomorrow. Saturday night, an additional 3 to 5 inches, and then they finally calm down on Sunday. But it's going to snow pretty consistently now all the way through Saturday night. By the time we get to Sunday afternoon, anywhere between 14 to 24 inches of new snow in the mountain passes. It's been a great year for the snowpack, no doubt about that. Again, chains are required on I-90 on all cars unless you have all-wheel drive, and the Washington State Patrol is doing chain enforcement, so you will be delayed on Snoqualmie Pass. You were warned. 9 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and come back with your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. And we recently decided to make that name change because we're offering so many different other types of insurances in addition to Medicare education and enrollment like we've been doing for 15 years. So if you have questions about Medicare or any other forms of insurances, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group, 888-2600, or visit us at any of our 5 locations.
Wow, Wenatchee Valley, Collins Winter Clearance has begun. 30% off boots, coats, jackets, vests, sweaters, tunics, tops, selected jeans and slacks, winter scarves and gloves. All red checked items are 30% off. Lotus handbags, selected Brighton luggage and jewelry, all on sale. And your favorite brands like Joseph Ribkoff, French dressing, Tribal, Icelandic, soft boots, etc. Super service, super selection, all at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
The sun has arrived. 32 degrees, clear skies. Will be in the lower 50s today with lots of sunshine, although a little breezy at times. Cloudy tonight, cloudy, a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow expected on Saturday. Back to the sunshine on Sunday and for most of next week. Here's your Friday morning headlines. An afraid man is charged with 3 felonies after allegedly fleeing from Douglas County Sheriff's deputies in a stolen car. Jose Fabian Sanchez, 24 years old, he remains jailed. This happened on February 7th, a highway chase that wound from the town of Douglas all the way to the east side of Banks Lake. It's about 43 miles. Deputies say Sanchez was driving a blue Honda sedan, reported stolen out of Grant County. He surrendered, but only after the car's tires were shredded by a spike strip. He allegedly told deputies that he borrowed the car with the owner's permission, but the prosecutors on Tuesday charged him with possessing a stolen vehicle, obstruction, fleeing from police, and driving without a valid license. Well, a semi went off Highway 174 in Grand Coulee. This happened just after noon yesterday. He first hit a parked car, which burst into flames, and then the semi struck an unoccupied building. The driver, identified as 52-year-old Pierre Oles of Opelika, Florida, was seriously injured, had to be taken by air ambulance to Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane. This is according to John Bryant, a trooper with the Washington State Patrol. State Patrol reports the semi drifted onto the shoulder of the highway, overcorrected, slid on its side, and then struck both the unoccupied auto and the building. There were no other injuries. Bryant said he believes the building that was hit was vacant. A Grant County Sheriff's deputy was the first person on the scene, followed by 8 crews. The driver of the semi initially was trapped, had to be extricated from the vehicle, which was carrying a load of apples. By the way, charges against the driver are pending. This is a neat story. A Moses Lake couple was forced to take a detour en route to Confluence Health yesterday morning for the birth of their 4th child. It's a great story. Andre Demchuk said he was driving his wife Vera to the hospital when they had to divert into the parking lot of Rose Tractor in East Wenatchee.
I was trying to show my wife, like, hey, look how beautiful the drive is. Like, look over there, look at that, look at that. Trying to keep her distracted and, you know, kind of breathing normally and not stressing out. But as soon as we came around that corner, we got up to the first stoplight, and my wife's like started yelling and screaming, and she's like, "This baby is coming out now." So I don't know, pulled into the road tractors and called 911, and then put it on my car audio so I could talk to them while. And yeah, like, well, as soon as I put it into park, I look over and like I could see the baby's head already coming out. She was in the front passenger seat, and like I was asking her, like, do you want to go in the back seat? Like, will it be more comfortable over there? And she's just like, no, here's good. And she like put her feet on the dash and delivered the baby.
Vera had a baby in the car.
No way.
Baby in the car.
And like I was like holding the baby in my hands when the police showed up, and then the ambulance took over, or the emergency response people took over. It was like all amazing how everything happened.
Mom and baby, they're fine. They're resting comfortably at Confluence Health, but we couldn't help to ask if the thought of a tractor-themed name for the newborn was considered.
Yeah, we were thinking like maybe Deer or Ferguson or something like that, but I mean, I think most likely he's going to be a farmer or a tractor hobbyist or something like that.
Everybody's fine, by the way. Congratulations to the family. There you go. Happy birthday, Felix, born in the parking lot of Rose Tractor. That's an interesting story. A couple more items to get to before we cut you loose. A 56-year-old Ephrata man was allegedly managing an illegal gambling operation that took bets on fighting roosters. Yep, Grant County Sheriff's deputies arrested Raimundo Garcia. This happened on Wednesday morning in a raid near the town of Winchester. Deputies said it was the culmination of a year-long investigation into illegal cockfights in which gamblers bet on the outcomes. Now, investigators found 13 roosters that they said were physically modified for fighting, as well as quantities of heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, psychedelic mushrooms. Garcia faces drug and gambling charges. He's in the Grant County Jail. And finally, it's Friday. What's going on this weekend? We have an in-house expert. It's Weekend Events with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The Kiwanis Kids Carnival is this Saturday from 1 to 4 in the Local Tel Event Center at Pybus Public Market. The carnival is free to all children from kindergarten through 5th grade. Children must be accompanied by adults. The 2020 Oscars Awards Gala is this Saturday at 5:30 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society invites you to this Oscar-themed event. This star-studded awards gala features a no-host champagne cocktail hour, a silent auction, raffle items, dinner, and of course, awards. Get your tickets online at wenatcheehumane.org. God's Closet is this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the Valley View Seventh-day Adventist Church. God's Closet is a non-profit organization that offers free clothes for children 0 to 16 years old. Pay a $1 entrance fee, then shop for free. And finally, Empty Bowls is this Sunday from 1 to 6 at Pybus Public Market. Wenatchee Valley Empty Bowls is an annual event designed to bring together the community through creative expression and education on hunger relief efforts. In exchange for a cash or check donation of $10 for a single or $35 for a family of up to 5, you will be able to paint and personalize a ceramic bowl. Then meet them at Wenatchee High School March 14th for a humble meal of soup and to collect your bowl generously kilned by Inspiration Ceramic Cafe. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Thank you, Megan. We appreciate your efforts there. And don't forget, wherever you go this weekend, you can take us along. We're portable. We stream all the time, so wherever we're broadcasting, either over the air or on your local cable outlet. You can also watch it by going to our live stream at ncwlife.com. What's going on for news tonight? The team will be getting together, gathering the news, putting together a newscast that you can enjoy at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, and with a preview. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, motorists are being advised to reduce their speed and watch carefully for elk as they travel on Interstate 90 near Vantage. Burger King has teamed up with a national anti-bullying organization to create a unique way to look at bullying. I'll let you know what our weekend weather looks like, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a preview of this weekend's high school basketball matchups. All that and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
And we hope you endeavor to drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Our viewers, you can email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page and drop us a line there. You can pick up the phone, give us a call. We have a phone. We have a lot of phones. I think we have 14 phones in our newsroom. I'm not sure. Or you can go to our website at ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon, drop us a line that way. Going to take a break. When we come back, we got a lot of sports to get to. We usually do on Friday. The obscure holiday. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays, the shortest Mike McNaughty opinion you'll ever hear, and my conversation with Arch Ecker and Lucas Ormsby of the Wenatchee Wild. It's a busy Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Back at it at 20 minutes after the hour on this Valentine's Day sports, and we'll start out with the Les Schwab College women's basketball schedule. From last night, number 15 Gonzaga bounced back from last weekend's loss to St. Mary's. They beat San Francisco last night, 56-38. Idaho outscoring Eastern 21-7 in the fourth quarter, and they routed the Eagles 75-46. And Central Washington knocked off Simon Fraser in women's basketball last night, 83-74. Men's college basketball, again from our friends at Les Schwab looks something like that. UCLA beats Washington State 86-83. Despite a game-high 19 points from Jaden McDaniels, the Huskies keep right on losing. They lost to USC in Los Angeles 62-56. Huskies are now 2-10 in conference play. And Idaho upsetting the Screaming Eagles of Eastern Washington 74-71. And finally, Central Washington, the Wildcats over Alaska Fairbanks. The final was 66-63. Let's look at the schedule. The women's college schedule for the weekend looks something like this. Tonight, the Washington women will play at number 12 Arizona. Washington State is at number 22 Arizona State. Saturday, tomorrow, you got Gonzaga hosting Santa Clara. Eastern Washington hosts Portland State. Central Washington, they'll travel to Bellingham to take on Western Washington. This is all women's college basketball. And on Sunday, the Huskies will play Arizona State and the Cougars will play Arizona. Men's college basketball over the weekend. Let's take a look at the schedule. Wenatchee Valley travels to Spokane. They'll take on the Sasquatch. You got USC entertaining Washington State. Washington is at UCLA. Central Washington at Alaska Anchorage, and Eastern tips up against Portland State Saturday night at 7:05. To the Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard from last night. It's pretty much getting close to playoff time now. Moses Lake Christian eased by Antioch 53-25 in the Central Washington 2B district tournament. Brewster knocked off Bridgeport. Lake Roosevelt, no problems with Tenasket. Let's look at the schedule this weekend for Prep girls basketball. Moses Lake celebrates senior night tonight. The Panthers are in town to wrap up the Big Nine regular season. Tomorrow, you got the Central Washington 2B District Tournament. You got Brewster at Liberty Bell and Waterville Mansfield hosting Lake Roosevelt. Again, this is all girls. The District 6 1A Tournament at Eastmont High School tomorrow. Chelan girls take on Okanagan. It's a loser-all game at 1. And then Omak will take on Kashmir for the Girls District Championship at 5. And yep, we will have that game live right here on this very television station. Boys basketball tonight. Central Washington 2B District Tournament. Brewster hosts Liberty Bell. Orville is at Lake Roosevelt. And, of course, in the Big Nine finale for both teams for the regular season, it's the Chiefs and the Panthers in Moses Lake at 7:30. Tomorrow at Eastmont High School, it's Chelan and Omak at 3 for the loser-odd game of the District 6 1A tournament. And then at 7, you got Okanagan and Kashmir for the championship. And we will have that game live on the NCW Live channel. Girls Regional Wrestling Tournament is in Othello over the next couple of days. Kashmir, Eastmont, Ephrata, Moses Lake, Quincy, Wenatchee wrestlers will start their tournament today at 5. And then they get going again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Boys wrestling all over the place. Eastmont, Moses Lake, Wenatchee, they're going to be in Skyline in Western Washington. It's a mess up with the Kingco League and the Big Nine. It's the Region 2 4A tournament. The Caribou Trail League's best are facing the Northeast A League's best. The Region 4 1A tournament at Deer Park High School. And the Ephrata and Quincy wrestlers will be at East Valley in Spokane for their tournament beginning at 11. The Wenatchee Wild will host Vernon tonight, Chilliwack tomorrow, and then they head on up to Salmon Arm Sunday as their regular season winds down. The Wild enter the weekend in 5th place in the Interior Division. They got 58 points, but that's just 1 point back of Vernon and 3 points behind 3rd place Salmon Arm. The voice of the Wild, Art Ecker, says there's lots of positioning in the postseason that's yet to be determined.
Because they reseed the interior because they have crossover teams from the other divisions come over. And it used to be that those crossover teams would slot in as number 7 and number 8 in the bracket as wild cards. But now they've set it up to where they'll come in, but they'll reseed. So if one of those wild card teams has a better record than the last place team in the interior, then they move up. So, yeah, it's kind of hairy. And that's why there's a whole lot of question marks still hanging in the balance as far as, who we're going to play, when we're going to play there. You know what? I wish I could tell you. But we really just don't know, and we probably won't know until next week sometime.
Now, if the Wild can climb up in the standings, that would mean home ice advantage in the playoffs. Right winger Luke Ormsby says the team is looking at a rather simple approach.
Yeah, right now we're kind of just thinking, we want home ice. And to do that, we're going to have to string together some good games here this weekend. And so we're kind of just playing for that. And we know that these are possible playoff opponents. Mm-hmm. So these are already going to be playoff games at this point. So I think there's a lot of fun in that. 2 big home games, love playing at home. Yep. And 2 of our last home games before playoffs. So I think earning home ice is a big key this weekend. We've been able to dial it in. And this is the crucial time of year you want to do that. I've been fortunate enough to play on teams that have done big things in hockey. And this is the time of year they dialed it in. And so that's cool to see. And I'm excited, going forward into playoffs.
As in any sport, you want to be playing your best right before the postseason arrives. And Art Ecker says, hey, the Wenatchee Wild are playing their best hockey right now.
Of course, I'm going to want to say, well, yes, they are. But you know what? I can honestly stand here looking in the eye and tell you these guys are playing the best hockey that I have seen them play all year. And they're gelling, they're buying in. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of extra push to get over the line, and the guys are finding that stride right now. And I'll tell you what else is encouraging is this last little win streak we've been going on. We've done it without our top 2 scorers, including our captain, including one of our top defensemen who's been out. So Brian Adams has been gone, Nick Caffarelli's been out, Trevor Grabel's been out. Each of those guys have the possibility of returning right around the time the playoffs start. So, you know what? It's very promising for Wenatchee right now.
Of course, in the back half of the hour, you'll see my entire conversation with Arch and Luke right here in the NCW Life channel. Puck drops tonight and tomorrow night at 7:05. And if you want to go for free, you can either use these 4 tickets for tonight or for tomorrow night, but you can't use them for the playoffs. So it's down to this. I got a family 4-pack. Winner at ncwlife.com. Winner at ncwlife.com is the email address. It's email only. That's the only way you can enter. And it's 1 entry per email address. If you have more than 1 email address, you can enter more than once, but you can't take 1 email address and keep sending it over and over and over and over and over again. That makes you ineligible for tickets. You got to pick them up today. Don't forget about that. You can use them tonight or tomorrow night. Winner at ncwlife.com. I'll give them away at 10 o'clock this morning. By the way, 41 more days until opening day of the baseball season. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Valentine's Day. And at 27 minutes after the hour, it is Valentine's Day for the obscure holiday. Not going to do that. It's National Cream-Filled Chocolate Day. Not going to do that. It's National Ferris Wheel Day because the guy who invented the Ferris wheel was born in this state. Not going to do that either. Nope. It's National Organ Donor Day today. People of all ages and all medical histories, for the most part, are eligible to donate their organs. Your medical condition at the time of your death will determine what they can harvest. And it's just not good enough to put it on your driver's license. You want to be in the database. There's the National Donate Life Registry. You want to make sure you're in that as well. So if there's any kind of confusion when that time comes, that confusion will be eliminated. You can donate your heart, your kidneys, your lungs, your pancreas, your liver, your intestines, your corneas, your skin, your tendons, your bone, your nerve, heart valves, and almost every organized religion in the world has no problem at all with organ donation. So make sure you're registered. It's National Organ Donor Day. All right, today in history, a couple of states celebrate the birthdays today. Happy birthday to our neighbors to the south. Oregon is 161 years old today. That's the Oregon state flag. The Oregon state flag is the only state flag that has 2 different designs on each side of the flag. That's the front of the flag. The back of the flag has I think it's like a big beaver or something like that. It is the Beaver State. Of course, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States. It's about 2,000 feet deep. Oregon is home to the biggest mushroom on Earth. It's 2.4 square miles. That's a big mushroom. It's in the Blue Mountains. Portland has more bicyclists per capita than any city in America. And you talk about the state of liberty, the 51st state, that we're going to split off from Eastern Washington and do our own state. They've been trying to do this down in Southern Oregon since the early 1940s. Between Southern Oregon and Northern California, they were disgruntled with their congressional representation. So since 1941, they've been trying to break away from the Republic and start their own 51st state called Jefferson. It hasn't happened. Happy 161st birthday to our good friends in Oregon. Happy 108th birthday to Arizona. Take off your rainbow shades. Arizona joined the Union on February 14th, 1912. That way the United States was all together. The last of the contiguous U.S. states all put it together when Arizona finally joined the Union, the Grand Canyon state. Arizona's population doubled between 1946 and 1956. Nobody lived in Arizona before 1946, and then a bunch of people moved there because of air conditioning. Air conditioning became rather affordable and widely available. So the state population doubled in just 10 years in Arizona. You can thank air conditioning for that. 2/3 of the population of Arizona live in the metropolitan Phoenix area. And Arizona helped revolutionize the fast food industry. Arizona was the home of the very first drive-through McDonald's in Sierra Vista. There was a nearby fort, and the soldiers loved McDonald's. They would go there all the time. But the rules were if you were in uniform, you could not get out of your car. And so the owner of the McDonald's in Sierra Vista, Arizona, busted out a wall, and put in a drive-through window just for the soldiers who were in uniform could go and get their food at McDonald's without having to get out of their car because they weren't allowed to. Happy birthday, Arizona. This is the 91st anniversary of the St. Valentines Day Massacre in Chicago, February 14th, 1929. 7 people murdered by Al Capone's gang. They were rounded up in the brick wall in a warehouse. 2 of the men who committed this crime were dressed as police officers, and the other 2 were in plainclothesmen. They took out their Tommy machine guns, mowed all 7 of them down, and then the 2 policemen, quote unquote, escorted the 2 bad guys out and put them in a car, and they drove away, and the people thought, oh, they arrested them. These famous St. Valentine's Day Massacre on this date 91 years ago today. And happy 15th birthday, YouTube. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawad Karim, 3 college students on this date back in 2005, started as a lark YouTube. Here's the very first YouTube video. First one ever.
All right, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
That's Jawad Karim, one of the 3 founders of YouTube. That was the very first YouTube video ever. And that was on February 14th, 2005. In November of 2006, about a year and a half later, Google bought YouTube from those 3 guys for $1.65 billion. Not bad. Happy birthday, YouTube. And we got some birthdays. A lot of birthdays at the bottom of the hour. Jack Benny, one of the greatest comedians, legendary comedian, was born in this state in 1894. We miss Jack Benny. You want to chuckle? Go to YouTube and just type in Jack Benny. You'll laugh, I guarantee you. The great Jack Benny, who died in 1974 at the age of 39. 3 people born on the exact same day, 1913, Valentine's Day. Mel Allen, Woody Hayes, and Jimmy Hoffa. Mel Allen, how about that? Mel Allen was the play-by-play man on radio and television for the New York Yankees from 1939 to 1964, and then again from 1976 to 1985, and he was eventually the host of This Week in Baseball. Mel Allen, the legendary voice of the Yankees, born in the state in 1913. He died back in 1996. Wayne Woodrow Woody Hayes, born in 1913 on Valentine's Day. The head football coach of Ohio State University from 1951 to 1978, won 5 national championships, and also born on Valentine's Day 1913. Jimmy Hoffa, the head of the Teamsters Union from 1957 to 1971. If you've watched the most recent Martin Scorsese movie, The Irishman, Al Pacino plays Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa disappeared in 1975, was declared dead in 1982. Michael Bloomberg is running for the presidency of the United States, and he's 78 years old today. The 3-term mayor of New York City. His first 2 terms, he was a Republican. His last term, he was an independent. Happy 78th, Michael Bloomberg. Drew Bledsoe, alumnus of Walla Walla High, Washington State University, of course, quarterback of the New England Patriots. Drew Bledsoe, nice guy, 48 years old today. And so is Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20, and a really good songwriter. Happy 48th birthday to both Drew Bledsoe and Rob Thomas. If you blink, you're going to miss it. The shortest Mike Magnati opinion ever recorded. And then my conversation with Art Ecker and Luke Ormsby of the Wenatchee Wild. Coming up, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and I'm so full of crap, even I can't believe it sometimes.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Valentine's Day on this Friday, and we love the Wenatchee Wild. And throughout the course of this season, we'll be getting to know some of the Wenatchee Wild players, including this gentleman and some of his teammates. Introduce yourself to our television family.
Hey, everyone. My name is Luke Ormsby, number 13 for the Wenatchee Wild.
And you had a real good week last week up in Canada. You kept putting the puck in the back of the net, including a couple of crucial shots in that final 3-2 victory before you came back on the bus.
Yeah, I think I just found myself kind of throwing pucks to the net. I think I need to do more of that. My grandfather called me and said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I think I took that to light this weekend.
You're one of the quote-unquote veterans of the team. Do you consider yourself a leader of the Wild? Both on the ice and in the locker room?
I think just being older, you like to step into that role like that, just being older and with some experience. But I try my best just kind of lead by example with the experience I've had before the Wild, so sure.
How long have you been playing hockey?
Since I was maybe 4. So
about the time you learned to skate?
Yeah, so maybe 16 years now, 17. I'm coming up on my 21st birthday here this weekend. So
did you have that when you were just a kid, or do you even remember that epiphany moment? Well, wow, I can skate, and I can skate fast, and I'm on skates, so I'm 4 inches taller than I normally am?
Well, so I think my game is centered around kind of me being a quicker player out there, and my parents always joked that I scaled, hockey. I failed hockey 1 because my skating was so bad. So maybe that year of me getting failed out and having to repeat it helped, but so I could attribute to it.
You're from Scottsdale. I just spent last week, as a matter of fact, in the greater Scottsdale, Phoenix area. Not normally considered a hotbed for hockey, but they landed an NHL team not a while back, and there seems to be a following for it. How does a kid from Scottsdale, Arizona, end up playing hockey?
Yeah, well, I actually grew up in Washington.
Okay.
So I grew up in Washington, where maybe hockey wasn't the biggest highlight, but the Everett Silvertips came into town. I remember the rink being built, and my parents were like, well, that's new in town, so might as well sign you up. So I signed up for the learned a hockey program there and kind of grew. Found my way to LA for hockey, which not another big city for hockey, but the Kings were winning the cup at the time, so hockey started to grow. And then found my way to Phoenix, where hockey wasn't the biggest, and of course they're starting to do well now. But and then found my way back up to Washington.
It's funny, they're starting to do well now down there in Phoenix, and they almost lost their team a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about moving it to Seattle, moving it around, and of course they're doing well now with the team they've built there. So that's cool to see, and everyone's turning into a hockey fan there now.
How did you end up in little old Wenatchee Town, USA? How did you end up here?
So I was playing in the Western Hockey League, and so my time kind of ended there, and I knew Bliss Littler pretty well, and he told me to come on down, and I've kind of loved it since. It's a cool little town, a cool little hockey town.
What is it about your position? We all know hockey. Your forwards and your centers and your defensemen and your goalies. Have you always been a goal scorer as soon as you decided, I want to put the puck in the back of the net, that's what I want to do?
I think based on the numbers of my career, probably people would say no to that.
Yeah.
But I've kind of learned a lot about, hockey and what it takes to be that type of role, and I think I've kind of found myself nicely into it here.
You got a game tonight against the Vernon Vipers. Walk me through a typical day in your life on a game day when you're here at the Town Toyota Center, from the time you get up until the time you go to bed with a nice little 4-1 victory over Vernon.
Well, I think today's especially different. My mom's in town, so
good.
I'll go to breakfast with her and do that, and then after that I'll kind of say, hey Mom, time for a nap, so go for a nap. Pre-game meal will be around 3:30 probably today. Get a nice nap in, probably hour and a half, 2 hours. Nice meal in. I'm gonna kind of head to the rink around 4:30, and then after that, get ready for a big win.
You guys spent a lot of time on the bus last week. Who's kidding who? I mean, I don't know how many thousands of miles that you logged. But I'm sorry, you were in Canada, so I don't know how many kilometers that you logged. What do you guys do on the bus trips to break up the monotony? Movies, games? Do you read? Do you nap? What do you do?
Watch a lot of movies. I mean, there's a million things to do on the bus. Some guys wrestle each other. Some guys, we turned on The Bachelor there at the end. The whole team's into that. Just kind of whatever brings the group together. A lot of guys play, phone games or whatnot. But those bus times are actually crucial for bringing the team together. And
absolutely,
you have your best jokes on the bus and whatnot. So.
This team seems to get along pretty good, both on the ice and in the locker room. There's good chemistry. You guys like each other?
For sure, and I think we've seen that come to light here in the past couple of weeks. I think we've been able to string together a couple big games, beating the number 1 seed, on and on. So I think that's been good for our team.
You have a huge series this weekend. You got, as we mentioned, Fort Vernon tonight, big game against Vernon, then Chilliwack. Boo, Chilliwack tomorrow before you hit the road for the end of the season. At this point of the year, do you even care who the hell you're playing, or is it just about your game and the Wild and executing your game plan and to heck with whoever's on the other side?
Yeah, right now we're kind of just thinking, we want home ice. And to do that, we're going to have to string together some good games here this weekend. And so we're kind of just playing for that. And we know that these are possible playoff opponents. Mm-hmm. So these are already going to be playoff games at this point. So I think there's a lot of fun in that. 2 big home games, love playing at home.
Yep.
And 2 of our last home games before playoffs. So I think earning home ice is a big key this weekend.
A couple more questions before I cut you loose. I'm going to ask Arch this question as well when he joins me here in a couple of minutes. Is this Wenatchee Wild hockey team playing their best hockey of the year right now, which is when you want to be playing your best kind of hockey? Are you guys clicking?
I think that's what's talked about amongst our group is we've been able to dial it in. And this is the crucial time of year you want to do that. I've been fortunate enough to play on teams that have done big things in hockey, and this is the time of year they dialed it in, and so that's cool to see, and I'm excited, going forward into playoffs.
Yeah, you have a private pilot's license.
Yeah, I do.
That's kind of cool. Talk about that before we cut you loose. I know you're a busy guy today, but how did it just always interested in aviation, or?
So growing up in Seattle, I remember I had a dentist appointment, and I knew the first Dreamliner was taking off. I begged my mom, please don't take me back to school. Take me to the airfield. So I was lucky she took me to the airfield, and I saw the first Dreamliner take off. And ever since then, I've had an itch for aviation. My parents wouldn't let me do it until I was 18. They gave me my first flight as a birthday present, and since then, I've worked at an airfield all summer, and I was lucky enough to attain my private pilot license. So that's been a dream of mine, and happy to achieve it. And every time I go back for the summer, I can't seem to stay away from the airfield. So, it's awesome.
I have some friends who have a private pilot's license, and I said, "Why is it about it?" And they said, when you're up there and you're flying, you can both relax and just let the day slip away from you, and yet you still have to concentrate on the task at hand.
Yeah.
And it's a neat little way to it kind of puts your brain in another mode.
Yeah, not a lot of people get to experience flight. Maybe they get to do an American Airlines flight or something like that, but it's so different when you're up in the cockpit. And during the summer, I like to take buddies up because it's such a different experience. And, it's awesome putting smiles on people's faces.
As the great Orson Welles once said, there's only 2 emotions on an airplane, boredom and sheer terror. That's what it is for me. Knock some in the back of the net for the next couple of nights, all right?
Absolutely, yep.
And let's get ready for the playoffs and look forward to seeing lots of goals over the next few days.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Do you want to say hi to anybody while we have you here? That camera right there, if you want to, my friend.
That one?
Yep.
I guess my birthday's coming up this weekend, so Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you've done for me, and of course, go Wild.
Happy birthday. How old are you going to be?
21.
Oh,
Crazy
boy.
Old.
Woo!
Crazy old.
Wonder what he's going to be doing over the weekend.
Scoring goals, hopefully.
Arch Ecker, plus your chance to win tickets for Wenatchee Wild Hockey this weekend is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
When you call Dix Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dix friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dix Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And we are back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It was a great opportunity to meet one of the standout Wenatchee Wild players. First of all, thanks for making those arrangements, Arch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate it. This team has a lot of, we've got to meet a lot of the players this year. The team has got some maturity and some character, and the guys, most importantly, seem to like each other.
Yeah, you know, and that's part of the key when you're assembling a team in the very beginning. I mean, you can look at stats all day and see who can score goals and put the puck in the net, but you really need good quality people that can interact well with one another and be a part of the community, because at the end of the day, that's really what this is all about.
And these guys spend a lot of time together. It's probably best that they do get along. Between the long bus rides and practice and weightlifting and everything and ice time, yeah.
Yeah, we spent 2 months together the last 2 weeks. It's been a lot of bus miles.
A lot of bus miles. But, man, oh, man, did you guys have a great week last week. I loved the line. I texted you about this a couple of days ago after they wrapped up the 3-game sweep up in Canada. You said, alert the Border Patrol. We're crossing the border with 6 points. Yeah. And I got a kick when I heard that. It was a great week last week up in Canada.
To be honest with you, I'd love to take credit for that. That's really that's a bliss line that I borrowed.
Either way, thanks, Coach Littler. I appreciate it. Before we preview the weekend series, we got games, of course, tonight, Valentines Day, big promotion, and tomorrow night for the last home game of the season. Talk about last week. We went up. It was, Salmon Arm. Who did we beat?
Neither of Salmons nor the Arms.
Neither. I can't remember who we beat.
No, that's okay.
So we went 3-0 in our
what happened
trip.
If you dial the clock back, remember we had that big thrilling win over Coquitlam in overtime, the #1 team in the league
with a huge crowd here.
Biggest crowd of the year.
Yeah,
fantastic. Guns and Hoses night, tremendous promotion. It was a beauty night. After that, then we hopped on the bus and off we went. Where'd we go? Well, our most recent trip, we went to Prince George. That's where we started off there. Yeah, Prince George, and we played there on a Wednesday night. We won that in a shootout. Of course, your guest from earlier, Luke, had a goal in that little mix. So we won that in a shootout, 3-2. And then we bussed back down into the lower mainland. We played at Surrey on Friday night, won that one 4-2. Luke had a goal in that one. And then on Saturday we played at Langley and won that 3-2. Luke had another goal, so he's on a bit of a tear. But and really, so are the Wild. It's kind of nice to say, hey, we're undefeated in February, 4-0.
Yeah, and it's funny because the last time we talked, before the last home series here, we talked about how the first and second in our division is pretty. They're kind of separated from the rest of the pack, but third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they're all bunched together. And this was the time to make a move to get as high as you can to the playoffs as a seed, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, and and now at this point, Penticton has locked down the #1 seed, and Trail they're going to finish second. But then you get third, fourth, and fifth, and there's just 1 point separating. It's Salmon Arm and Vernon each have 59, and the Wild have 58. So it's 1 point separating those three spots, and it's going to be hairy coming down to the end. And earlier this week, West Kelowna did mathematically lock in their playoff bid. So, but whether they land 6, because they reseed the interior, because they have crossover teams from the other divisions come over, and it used to be that those crossover teams would slot in as number 7 and number 8 in the bracket as wild cards. But now they've set it up to where they'll come in, but they'll reseed. So if one of those wild card teams has a better record than the last place team in the interior, then they move up. So yeah, it's kind of hairy, and that's why there's a whole lot of question marks still hanging in the balance as far as who we're going to play, when we're going to play there. You know what? I wish I could tell you, but we really just don't know, and we probably won't know until next week sometime.
And when this whole season is over, by the way, we do a couple of wrap-up talks with Arch and the crew. Friendly reminder, they're changing everything in the BCHL next year. They have a new expansion team joining the franchise. They're basically throwing all the cards up in the air and starting all over again as far as divisions and where everybody goes. But that's for another deal to talk about. Yeah. Tonight, Vernon is in town. Tomorrow night, Chilliwack is in town. The last 2 regular season home games. Talk about Friday night. It's Wild Love Night, Arch.
Wild Love, sponsored by Weinstein Beverage. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Get some Barry White in here. Let's give Ernie the night off and get Barry White. He'd be like,
can't get enough of your love, babe.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
So, and what's great is the opportunity to play Vernon. As I mentioned, they're 1 point ahead of us. And so that really puts the Wild in the driver's seat in terms of being able to control your own destiny. And that's all you can ask for at this time of year, is to not have to rely on someone else to win or lose to get you over the hump. If the Wild can take care of business, they have an opportunity to play Vernon head-to-head, move ahead of them, and then they're in charge of whatever goes on beyond that. The Wild can finish in at least fourth place, which would give them the opportunity to open the playoffs on home ice, which, as pretty much everyone knows, is huge, because this building here behind me, the Wolves' Den, is a very daunting place for other teams to come.
So, yeah, Vernon is in town. Pre-game Valentines Day dinners, all kinds of cool stuff. And we're getting close to the end where you're doing this the Toyota Camry giveaway, which is something you've been doing every home game all year long.
And that's going to be after, at intermission on Friday night as well. So, what we did is we were able to work a deal with Town Toyota. So there's a 2020 Camry, brand new. And that is the ultimate prize, and we've been qualifying contestants throughout the year. And I think we got down to the final 4 have been qualified. All 4 of them will be on the ice at intermission, and they will compete for the opportunity to try to win that 2020 Camry. So that's pretty neat. It's a nice promotion, and obviously Town Toyota, they decorate the building, right?
Yeah.
But they're a tremendous sponsor, not just of this facility, but of the Wild as well, and we're so very grateful for that.
And if you're sitting at home with your big collection of Walt Bobblehead dolls from all previous seasons of the Wenatchee Wild, and you're ready to add the next one to your collection, Saturday night.
Yeah, Ag Supply has really just jumped on that and said, you know what, that's kind of our baby. And year after year, they're like, no, we're doing that again, for sure. And so they've got 1,000 of them. They're going to give them out to the first 1,000 fans through the door. And the doors open at 6 o'clock. Actually, 5:45 for the season ticket members, which is another perk of being a season ticket member, because then you don't have to worry about getting boxed out. But the line tends to form for those bobbleheads. So, that's going on. And it's also, we've got a lot of other prizes that night, actually. They're calling it it's a play on words here, which I'm sure you're a big fan of, the Fantastic Fan Alley. See?
Oh, that's good.
It is a fantastic Fan Alley. Well, and David Rayfield has been very busy. He's been on the phones. He sits next to me in the dojo over there, as you know. And I hear him. He's been on the phone wheeling up all kinds of prizes to be given away to fans. And so it's going to be a great night. Not just the fact that it's an important hockey game against
Chilliwack.
A hated rival. Even though they're not in our division anymore, we don't see them very much. It's like whenever Chilliwack shows up, it's like, right? So it's going to be a great hockey game, final home game. Plenty of prizes, plenty of fun, and this is the place to be.
And I don't want to single out any one of the longtime sponsors of the Wenatchee Wild. There's a sizable
But you're
list.
about to.
But I'm about to. And you mentioned Ag Supply. They have been a great partner for the Wild. Not just Walt, but cowbells and everything. They've been great. Yeah.
So. And we're very grateful for that, and as you said, there are there's a good core of sponsors that year after year they continue to be a part of it and support, because they believe in the culture that we've built here, and the fact that we intend to be a reciprocal part of this community and continue to do so.
Let's wrap up our conversation with our checker. Let's go back to hockey talk again. As we mentioned before, Vernon in town tonight. Tomorrow, Chilliwack, the last 2 home regular season games of the year. Then they got 3 road games. They wrap it up at Penticton next weekend, and then the playoffs begin. So real quickly, playoff tickets, how does one go about getting them? What's the deal there?
It's real easy to get playoff tickets. You just call the office, 888-7825. Now, the way we do it, all tickets for the playoffs are $10 each. So you can come buy them, as you go, if you like, and that's fine. If you want to guarantee your seat for every game throughout the playoffs, then we'll sell you a strip of tickets. And that strip encompasses 16 games.
Which is the maximum home games they play. Okay, I understand.
There's 4 series. Maximum potential is 4 home games each. And so the most you could possibly play is 16 games. If those, let's say only 10 of them get played for whatever reason, as was the case last year, then there's 6 that are left unplayed. The $60 you would have spent on those tickets, or that you did spend to get your strip, rolls over to your next season's tickets. So nobody's out anything. You're guaranteed your seat. You don't have to worry about it. And if you have any questions about that, then just call the office at 888-7825 and talk to Morgan or David or Jesse or Gretchen or Kendra, and they'll all be able to help you, except for don't ask me, because I don't know anything.
is the Wild, as the old adage is, and it's true because that's how it became an old adage. You want to play your best hockey heading into the playoffs, so you're ready to go. Is this team right now? Because you've watched every second of every minute of every game this year. Is this Wenatchee Wild hockey team playing the best hockey that they have all year right now?
You know, it's cliche, like you said, and you know, of course, I'm going to want to say, well, yes, they are. But you know what? I can honestly stand here looking in the eye and tell you these guys are playing the best hockey that I have seen them play all year. And they're gelling, they're buying in. You know, it takes a lot of heart and a lot of extra push to get over the line. And the guys are finding that stride right now. And I'll tell you what else is encouraging is this last little win streak we've been going on. We've done it without our top 2 scorers, including our captain, including one of our top defensemen who's been out. So Brian Adams has been gone, Nick Caffarelli's been out, Trevor Grabel's been out. Each of those guys have the possibility of returning right around the time the playoffs start. So, you know what? It's very promising for Wenatchee right now.
Again, Vernon tonight for Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, Chilliwack, the last regular season game of the year. Then the playoffs beckon, and I got my final 4 ticket vouchers. You can use them there. I'm going to give them in groups of 4. You can use them either tonight. For Valentine's Day, it's perfect. You can bring, like if a guy wins, he can bring his wife and 2 mistresses, and that would be all 4. Mm-hmm. Or you can do 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow, whatever it is. It's 4 vouchers available for either night or for both nights, but it's just 4. It is winner at ncwlife.com, winner at ncwlife.com. I will do the drawing at 10 o'clock this morning. 1 entry per email address.
You could bring your mistress and her 2 wives. There's a whole lot of math you can do.
Winner at ncwlife.com. And again, there's 4 ticket vouchers. You can split them 2 and 2. You can use 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow night. You can use all 4 tonight, all 4 tomorrow night. We don't care. Arch, I think it's time. To get the bolts tightened in your neck again. You're starting to get a little.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that. And,
yeah.
You know, the one thing you didn't mention, we got those 2 games, you know, tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then right after tomorrow night's game, we're on the bus.
Yeah,
literally
on the bus.
right after the game.
Yeah.
And we're heading up because we play at Salmon Arm on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's crazy time.
I love it. Boy, this season just flew by, didn't it? But there's a long way to go, my friend.
That's right. Long playoff run coming, and that means we get to come here and visit and bug you a few more times.
Absolutely. All right, check everybody. The broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I-dos to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in North Central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
We are back once again, winner at ncwlife.com, and at 10 o'clock this morning I will do the drawing for all the email entries, but a quick reminder, you gotta pick the tickets up today. All right, winner at ncwlife.com. Go Wild. One more time from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at that forecast. Lots of sunshine today. A little on the windy side, though. We'll have a west wind about 7 to 16 miles an hour, and we'll get up to around 51 degrees for the afternoon high. Clouds thicken up tonight as the system comes in. We've been talking about 31 for the overnight low. Saturday, lots of clouds. Chance of rain in the afternoon, a high of about 44. A chance of a rain snow mix, but probably not going to happen. Saturday night is when the system exits the area. We'll get down to 32 degrees by the time we wake up Sunday. Lots of sunshine. We'll eventually climb that ladder up to 45. And then look at all of next week as another high pressure ridge will reestablish itself. Monday for President's Day, we're looking at highs in the mid 40s, and that's going to be the same way for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of weather. This February of this year is so different from February of last year. It's not even funny. Everybody have a fantabulous weekend. Don't forget, wherever you go this weekend, take us along. We're portable. We'll see you Monday. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.